All right, for lesson 1.4, what we're going to do is we're going to find two numbers that multiply to be something and add to be something. And here's what I mean by find two numbers. If I say find two numbers that multiply to be 15, you would actually have 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. And then if you actually want to keep going, you can do -1 and -15 or -3 and -5. So there's many different ways. Okay, and the whole point of looking at last lesson, 1.3, is to figure out, are they both positive or are they both negatives? And you can sort of see, if this is positive, they're both the same sign. And since this is positive, we only have to look at the two positive ones. We don't have to make a huge list. So out of those two numbers, which ones add to be 8? Here we go. So our two numbers are 3 and 5. All right, looking at the next one, 12. What multiplies to be 12? And sometimes and adds to be 7. Now some people, can we do this first and be all right, 1 plus 6, 0, we don't do zeros, 2 plus 5, and so on. You can actually get down to -8 plus 50. There can be an infinite way of taking two integers to add to be 7. But when you look at how many different ways can you multiply integers to get 12, and once again, this is 12, so it's positive since these are both going to be positive, so if we go back to our template. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and this is the one that adds to be 7. All right, looking at number 3. Okay, now it multiplies to be a positive, so C is positive. Right? Our B is negative in this case, so if you go back to 1.3 lesson, you'll realize that they're going to be the same sign, and since they add to be negative, they're both going to be negative values. So -1 and -21. Okay, well that adds up to be -22. -2, I'm sorry, -3 and -7. Oh, that adds up to be -10. Those are our two numbers. Okay. Now, if you didn't know the template from before, you'd actually, you have these, you'd have to list all 4 ways of multiplying to get positive 21. Both positive, both negatives. So that's the point of that last lesson. All right, 24. Many different ways to multiply to get 24. Okay? So we know now they're going to have one of each, because they have to be opposite numbers here to multiply to be negative. And in this case, since they add to be negative, my larger one will be the negative number. So I do 1 and -24. That way these add up to be a negative number. Where if I put the larger number as positive, they'd have to be positive 23. This would be 2 and -12, so those end up -2, -3, sorry, positive 3 and -8, that ends up to be -5. 4 and -6, there's the one that adds up to be -2. So those would be my two numbers. Okay. All right, last one. They're going to be opposite signs, and the larger one in this case will be positive, so that when I add these two numbers, you'll end up getting a positive. So we'll end up with -1 and 18, that adds up to be 17, no. -2 and 9 adds up to be -7, no. -3 and positive 6, there you go, that adds up to be 3. So that would be our two numbers. Okay. So that's how you find two numbers that multiply to be one number, add to be another. You can go ahead now and do 1.4 practice. If you need some more help, please ask your teacher, or you can come down to my office in the principal's area.